Now the CBSE questions. First, the short answer type questions. Question number 1. Why did Rajkumar Shukla want to take Gandhiji to Champaran? So Rajkumar Shukla wanted to take Mahatma Gandhi to Champaran to make him see the problems that were faced by the sharecroppers, by the indigo planters. The way the indigo planters, the British authorities were exploiting the peasants, the poor peasants of Champaran, and he wanted to actually uplift this. He actually sought help for this situation, and for that he wanted to take Mahatma Gandhi to Champaran. Next question. Why did Gandhi decide to go to Muzaffarpur before going to Champaran? So Mahatma Gandhi, he decided to visit Champaran. He decided to visit Muzaffarpur before going to Champaran because what he was told till now was just a little information by Rajkumar Shukla, and he wanted to gather a complete picture, a complete information, detailed information before actually arriving to Champaran. Therefore, he visited Muzaffarpur, where he met the body of lawyers who were fighting the cases of the peasants in the court. Question number 3. How did the Champaran peasants react when they heard that a Mahatma had come to help them? So when the Champaran peasants got to know that there was a person, Mahatma, would actually come to help them, they were very delighted. And when Mahatma Gandhi was taken to court, he was asked to be present at court, all these people protested against the authorities in support of Mahatma Gandhi. Next question. Why did Gandhiji feel that taking the Champaran case to the court was useless? So Mahatma Gandhi thought that taking the Champaran case to the court was useless because the lawyers who had been fighting the cases of these peasants in the court was taking a huge amount of money from the peasants. So, and these peasants, other than paying this huge amount, they were also, very fear-stricken. So Mahatma Gandhi thought that this is not the right thing to do, and we are just actually overburdening the peasants. Rather, what should be done was making the peasants courageous, making them free out of this fear. Next question. What were the terms of the Indigo contract between the British landlords and the Indian peasants? Or what did the peasants pay to the British landlords? Now, the contract between the British landlords and the Indian indigo cultivators or the Indian peasants were that 15% of their most cultivable land, in that 15% they will have to grow indigo. And after the harvest, they will have to give that entire indigo as rent to the British landlords. Next question. What made the Lieutenant Governor drop the case against Mahatma Gandhi? So when Mahatma Gandhi presented himself at court, so a massive crowd of peasants gathered in support of him outside the courthouse. Now the authorities were completely baffled. They had never expected that such a huge crowd would gather protesting against them. So they decided that let's drop the case because they did not want it to make the situation more aggravated or more explosive. Next question. Why did Gandhiji tell the court that he was involved in a conflict of duties? So Mahatma Gandhi, he gave his justification in the court and he said that, he was in a conflict of duties. Why? Because on one hand, he refused to follow the official order which asked him to quit or leave Champaran, which was him going against the law. But on the other hand, he was being a moral citizen. He was doing, what he did was on the humanitarian ground, where from within he knew what was right and what is wrong. And he had actually come to Champaran only to help the peasants. So the way he acted and the reason why he denied to that official order was because he came here for a purpose. That is for the betterment, for the upliftment, to bring justice to the peasants. And that is why he was in a conflict of duties. Next question. Though the sharecroppers of Champaran received only 1/4 of the money or compensation, how can the Champaran struggle still be termed as a huge success and victory? So the landlords, they agreed to pay only 25% of the money back to the peasants as compensation. Still, this entire episode seemed to be as a huge success and victory because the peasants got at least 25% of their money back. Part of the prestige of these landlords were also gone with this, because they were found guilty that how they had cheated and taken money from the peasants, and how this movement actually led to the decline of the growing or cultivating indigo in Bihar or Champaran. Next, and how this is also a victory, because the peasants had now become courageous. They were now self-reliant, and they knew that that they had rights, and they know that they can use their rights in the correct way. Next question. The Battle of Champaran is won. What led Gandhiji to make this remark? So when Mahatma Gandhi, he was present at court, so he was supposed to go to court the next day. So he had sent a message to Rajendra Prasad requesting him to come along with his influential lawyer friends to Champaran. Now when they all came there, so Mahatma Gandhi and the lawyers along with Rajendra Prasad, they were discussing the entire issue. And Mahatma Gandhi just questioned them that, what if I am being sent to jail? So what will you all do? So all those lawyers said that we came here to help you, but if you are sent to jail, then we would also go back to our house. That's when Mahatma Gandhi said that, the situation of the peasants is very bad, and here I'm ready to go to jail just to bring justice to the peasants. So that actually moved and brought a change in the thought of the lawyers, because they thought that Mahatma Gandhi was a complete stranger for these peasants who does not even belong to that state, is actually ready to go to jail just so that he could bring justice to the peasants. And here these are the lawyers belonging from the same state, and they are claiming that they are serving the peasants, but it would be shameful if they do not agree and if they do not help the peasants. And therefore the lawyers agreed and said that we would also accompany you to jail if you are sent there. We are together in this. And that's when Mahatma Gandhi said that the Battle of Champaran was won. Next question. How did Gandhi show that he cared for the cultural and social backwardness of Champaran villagers? So, or what did Mahatma Gandhi do to improve the conditions of peasants in Champaran? So, to improve the conditions of peasants in Champaran, to uplift them from their social and economic backwardness, Mahatma Gandhi opened 6 primary schools there. Many of his followers and even his own wife and youngest son came there to teach them the ashram rules, to teach them about sanitation, about personal hygiene, about cleanliness. Even a doctor was appointed who came there, who treated the people and gave them certain medicines when they were ill. So, education was given, healthcare was taken care of, and this is how Mahatma Gandhi tried to uplift the people of Champaran from their social and economic backwardness. Next question. Why did Gandhiji oppose when his friend Andrews offered to stay in Champaran and help the peasants? Or why was Gandhiji opposed to C.F. Andrews helping him in Champaran? Or the same question in other words, why did Gandhiji object to C.F. Andrews' stay in Champaran? So C.F. Andrews, C.F. Andrews was a disciple, a strong disciple or a follower of Mahatma Gandhi, and he was an Englishman. So when Mahatma Gandhi was in Champaran, so C.F. Andrews was given a task for which he had to go on his duty to Fiji. But before leaving, he actually visited Mahatma Gandhi to meet him. Now there, Rajendra Prasad and the other lawyers actually insisted Mahatma Gandhi that they should take help from C.F. Andrews because he was an Englishman. So they could take their help, they could take his help in order to win the battle against the authorities in the movement in Champaran. But Mahatma Gandhi was completely opposed to this idea because he said that our the cause of our battle is very just and fair. And if we take his help, it will show that we are weak. But everyone must fight their own battles with their own strengths. We should be self-reliant. Now, after the short answer type questions, let's discuss the long answer type questions. Question number 1. Who was Rajkumar Shukla and why did he meet Gandhiji? Why did Gandhiji decide to accompany him to Patna? So Rajkumar Shukla was a poor peasant or a sharecropper in Champaran, which is a district in Bihar. Now he went to meet Mahatma Gandhi in order to take his help to improve the conditions or bring justice against the Britishers and their unjust laws and exploitation for the sharecroppers of the Champaran district in Bihar. And he was so persistent, and he actually convinced Mahatma Gandhi. He followed him everywhere for weeks, and finally when Mahatma Gandhi had asked him to meet him on a specific date at Calcutta, so he was already present there. So this determination actually convinced Mahatma Gandhi, and he decided to actually visit Patna with him. Next question. Civil disobedience had triumphed the first time in modern India. How? Explain with reference to the chapter Indigo. So when Mahatma Gandhi was summoned to be at court, and there a large body of people, peasants, had gathered, and they were protesting against the authorities. So the authorities and the government was baffled. They thought they had never expected such a turn of event, and they actually had to drop the case. And Mahatma Gandhi thought that now finally people were united. They were coming out of their fear, and they were becoming more courageous. And that is when they felt that yes, the civil disobedience had triumphed for the first time in modern India. Next question. Gandhiji was not a loyalty to abstractions. It was loyalty to living human beings. Why did Gandhiji continue his stay in Champaran even after indigo sharecropping disappeared? So Mahatma Gandhi, his way of politics shows that he was not just having a loyalty towards abstractions, that is loyalty towards certain ideas which may not be implemented, but he was more practical. He wanted to address the smallest of the issues of billions of people, and that was his way of acting and devoting and giving his loyalty to the people. So his loyalty was not about a specific idea or a plan of action, but his idea was addressing the everyday problems of people, and therefore it is said that his loyalty is towards the living human beings. Now, Gandhiji even continued to stay in Champaran after the indigo sharecropping disappeared, because he had seen that the people of Champaran, they were living in very much social backwardness and economic backwardness. So he wanted to uplift their conditions. He wanted to make improvement in their conditions. He wanted to improve their conditions. So he set up primary schools there. He called his disciples and followers to teach them. His wife and his youngest son also came there, and a doctor was also appointed. So basically he took care of the education, the health, hygiene and the cleanliness of the people there in order to help them come out of the social and economic backwardness. Next question. The visit undertaken casually on the entreaty of an unlettered peasant in the expectation that it would last a few days occupied almost a year of Gandhi's life. Comment. So Mahatma Gandhi, when he was actually convinced by the determination of Rajkumar Shukla that okay, he will go and visit Champaran, so he thought that this is just going to be a stay of few days. But how the entire incident changed and how the entire movement shaped up, which actually made him stay there for a year. So he never thought of that. He never thought that he's going to go there and defy any rule. But the turn of events actually led to something different. Yes, and that is why we say that it also occupied almost a year of Gandhiji's life, and it proved to be one of the turning events of his life. Next question. Why did Gandhiji agree to a settlement of 25% refund to farmers? How did it influence the peasants-landlord relationship in Champaran? So this question has already been discussed under the NCERT and the short answer type section. You can go and refer the answer there. Next question. Given an account of Gandhiji's effort to secure justice for the poor indigo sharecroppers of Champaran. So here, basically you have to talk about the entire effort, that how Rajkumar Shukla had convinced Mahatma Gandhi to be there in Champaran, and how when he decided to visit Muzaffarpur in order to gather better information, how he started his investigations, and when he was asked to be at court when he was asked to leave Champaran, but he stayed there, and how he actually convinced the body of lawyers along with Rajendra Prasad to fight the battle together. And with so much conviction, with so much peace, he had actually won the battle and actually made the people self-reliant. So everything has to be written in a very concise manner here. Now question number 7. Why is the Champaran episode considered to be the beginning of the Indian struggle for independence? Now this question and the question that is given in your NCERT section, that why is Champaran episode seen to be a turning point in Gandhi's life, they have the same, more or less the same answer. So you can go and refer to that section for this question's answer. Next question. Question number 8. Describe how, according to Louis Fisher, Gandhiji succeeded in his Champaran campaign. So Gandhiji succeeded in his Champaran campaign by having a detailed investigation, by actually helping the people and taking and actually changing the thought process of the lawyers and Rajendra Prasad, who actually came together, and how he had large meetings and long meetings with the Lieutenant Governor, and how finally an investigation commission was set up, and how he actually was the only one who was presenting the case in that commission from the side of the peasants, and how he actually agreed to that 25% of compensation from the landlord side in order to break the deadlock. So every incident, every important incident has to be written here. So again, question number 8 and question number 6 could have the same answer. Next question. Question number 9. Give an account of the problems faced by the indigo sharecroppers. What was Gandhiji's role in solving the problem? And the problem that was faced by the indigo sharecroppers were that they were forced to devote 15% of their best lands to the cultivation of indigo and give that entire indigo to the British landlords as rent. Now later, when the British landlords got to know that Germany had developed a synthetic indigo which was much cheaper, so they actually gave a proposition or an offer to the Indian peasants that if they want to free themselves from that 15% contract, then they will have to pay a compensation amount. And there many peasants actually signed that, gave them the money, and later when they got to know about this synthetic indigo, so they felt cheated and they were very much angry and they demanded their money to be returned. And this is when Mahatma Gandhi actually fought the case along with along with a group of lawyers, which included Rajendra Prasad as well, and how he actually took the entire case and shaped the entire movement and brought justice, wherein we see that finally the landlords were found guilty. They were convinced to repay 25% of the compensation to the peasants, and eventually the indigo cultivation in Champaran actually disappeared. Next question. The Champaran episode was a turning point in Gandhi's life. Elucidate it. So again, this question is from the NCERT section. You will find the answer there. Next question. How did Gandhiji use Satyagraha and non-violence at Champaran to achieve his goal? So Gandhiji had always stuck to his ideals of Satyagraha and non-violence in order to achieve his goals. He's never lost his patience. He was always trying to search for the truth, and he was always acting in peaceful way. So again, this answer again is discussed under the short answer type question and the NCERT section. You will find the detailed answer there. Please refer to that section. Moving on to the next question. Question number 12. Exploitation is a universal phenomenon. The poor indigo farmers were exploited by the British landlords, to which Gandhiji objected. Even after our independence, we find exploitation of unorganized labor. Now, what values do we learn from Gandhiji's campaign to counter the present day problems of exploitation? The weak have always and at all times been the victims of injustice and exploitation. So here, what can we do? Even now, after independence, we know that there is a weaker section always, and they are always, suffering from injustice or discrimination or violence or exploitation in some or the other form. So the ways through which we can actually help them or uplift their condition is, we should sensitize the society about it. There should be a law governing body who should take care about the rights of every person, and creating awareness in the society. We should not indulge ourselves into any kind of violence, but we should actually help these people. There could be a leader who could actually guide these people to fight for their rights. So to make them, we also impart education to the people belonging from this strata, so that they could also feel a part of the society, that they're not illiterate, or they are not a part of the society in some way. They should not feel weak. right? So all these things could be done, and many more suggestions or things could be done, and you can give in your points as well. Next question. Question number 13. Self-reliance, Indian independence and help to sharecroppers were all bound together. How did Gandhiji manage to do this? Explain in the context of the chapter Indigo. Again, this is the entire thing that is given in the previous question, in the previous slides question. You can talk about question number 6, 8, 9. Again, more or less, these are somehow the same questions where you can have overlapping answers here. Moving on to the next question, question number 14. Gandhiji, the father of our nation, is a great leader whose values have been admired by one and all. Describe at least 3 characteristics of Gandhiji you get to know from Indigo, which you wish to adopt into your own life, quoting suitable instances from the story. So there could be many things. First, leadership. That he was leading the movement. Yes, taking the people together. It was not like he's a leader and is deciding everything on his own. He was taking the people together. He was guiding them. He was a good leader. So leadership quality. Second, non-violence. In any of his action, he was not being physically violent. He was very much, peaceful. So non-violence, peaceful, leadership quality, self-reliant. That when he said that, okay, he does not want to take help of Andrews, who was an Englishman. Why? Because he said that if we are correct, if we are fighting for the right cause, then we should work on our own strengths. We should fight our own battles. We should be self-reliant. Then patience. Gandhiji was patient. He was there for almost a year, and he did not hurried up or he got angry or irritated that this small issue was taking a long time. So he was patient. So leadership, self-reliant, patience, then non-violence, peaceful. So all these things, so I've listed 5 characteristics. If you can think of more, then you can also write that. Quoting instances from the story, supporting your answer. Next question. Freedom from fear is more important than legal justice for the poor. Do you think that the poor of India are free from fear after independence? So definitely the Indian independence movement have helped the poor section or the lower section of the society to uplift themselves. They have actually got, they have actually uplifted themselves from the poor, from the fear. But still, even after many years of independence, injustice is there, exploitation is there. These weaker sections are still being not treated equally, and injustice and exploitation is there. They are being oppressed. So still, people are under that fear to raise their voice against the truth, to raise their voice in order to seek justice. So that thing is still prevalent in our society. So one very important thing is that these people should be made, they should be educated, awareness should be created, they should be helped, they should be guided well, so that at least the fear that they have within them should go away. And on this note, we've come to the end of the story, where we have done the entire narration followed by the summary and the discussion of the NCERT and the CBSE questions. So I'll sign off here, and I'll meet you next with the next story. Till then, thank you.